studios of TLC Talk Radio
and Dana's bedroom.
It's DT on our minds in the middle of a pandemic, unfortunately. Don't forget to follow us on all of our social media pages: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. I'm your girl, Tasha.
And I'm that fat girl, Dana.
We have a fun and separate show lined up for you. We've been cracking up the entire time. Like, jeez. So if you haven't guessed, we have socially distanced ourselves from one another. She's in one town, I'm in another. We are way more than 6 feet apart, right?
Oh yeah, way more.
Way more. But we want to be safe, and we hope that everyone else is being safe. These are trying times. They're not necessarily unprecedented, but they are for the people living in this era. Makes sense? Yeah. How you doing over there?
We're doing great. I mean, there's a million people who live in my house. No, there's only 5. So if you hear babies crying or dogs barking or there's a duck next door, just know that that's from my house.
There are ducks that like to walk my property. I have not seen them this spring, but they do. It's a couple. So I guess they go on their romantic walks across my lawn.
This one actually lives next door.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So we've got ducks next door. There's a donkey on the hill. There's goats across the street.
Is there any grass where the goats live?
We have tons of grass right now.
Really?
Yeah.
The goats haven't gotten that yet?
Well, the goats, they have a really, really large pasture, so they're fine.
All right. Well, that makes sense.
So what's going on in your abode?
Lots of remote work. The audience knows that I am an educator, and we've been getting acclimated, some more acclimated than others, because some people are just more tech savvy than others. They haven't had to use, web conferencing and, the constant emails and school learning apps and different technology. And it's been busy as we meet constantly to make sure that we're giving the kids what it is they need while they're out. Like, we can't just be like, all right, school's over, see you. That's inappropriate.
Right.
So we have just been, bye, good day. We've been making sure that they have what they need. So I hadn't seen my students until yesterday's web conference, and they were hilarious. And they were, hiding their faces and being shy. And I'm like, get out of here. Y'all the rowdiest people ever. But it was good to see them. They enjoy seeing us. And, it is what it is. It wasn't everyone. That happens. Some people missed emails. Some people do not necessarily have access to technology, which has been a different challenge. But I see now that people understand the value in technology. A lot of people are resistant sometimes to technology. I'm the media director at my church, and I remember when I first showed up in 2016, I got a lot of eye rolls, a lot of pushback, a lot of you in the way, why you taking my picture, why are we on Facebook, why do you keep announcing that we should follow, the social media pages? And now, man, people understand the value. And so for us, we already had these things in place. So we didn't have to set up a live stream. We have been doing it literally since I arrived. We already had a conference line for prayer. And so for us, like when last year, remember that cold hit and it was bananas outside? We weren't asking our people to come out. We were like, it's cold. Call for Bible study on that conference line. So it's been a learning curve, but it's been good. People see it now. Yep.
Good.
What about you?
Well, I've been working at the school.
Okay.
Doing lunches.
Oh, okay. Very nice.
We've been doing 2 lunches. Yeah. But we're stopping for 2 weeks for spring break. We don't know if we're coming back because just in case you're on SNAP and you already have benefits for free lunch, they're actually going to add money to your card that would compensate for that. So you'll have more money to shop to get food, so we won't be relying so much on schools providing lunches or pantries or whatnot. People who are on reduced lunch will also get a SNAP card for that money.
Okay.
So that's a good development that I just learned about yesterday.
Very good.
So we might not be going back to do lunches after the spring break time. But there are other schools who are currently doing it, so check the website so you can get food if you need it.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, that makes sense. And there's a new somebody in the house.
There is my granddaughter. Her name is Elizabeth Sophia.
Sweetheart.
I'm not going to bring her on camera because she's sleeping, and Nefera told me that if I wake her up, that it's my problem.
Team Nefera.
I'm not going to do that. Let her sleep. She's cuddly.
That's
we
so
took
sweet.
her outside the other day, so she gets some sunlight.
Very, very nice. I love it.
She'll be 3 weeks on Friday, tomorrow.
Oh.
Well, you all don't know when you're watching this, but
she'll be 3 weeks on the 10th. How about that?
On the 10th of April.
Yes. Well, yeah.
Because I don't know when you're watching this.
Agreed. That's so sweet. Like all the new babies, I'm so excited. I saw my cousin Erica post, I hope that my first Mother's Day isn't in quarantine. And I'm like, oh my goodness. I know.
Well, I mean, you just need to be with your baby. So,
but they do a lot of traditional mom and grandma, and so she wants to be with her mother and her grandmother, who's the baby's great grandmother. I get it, and I said, well, baby. Yeah,
it's what it is.
I don't have a response. And that, thank God for FaceTime. Listen, your friends, my parents are hilarious with the iPad.
I've seen the pictures that you've been taking of them trying to be on FaceTime.
So Daddy does not understand that I'm trying to see him. Otherwise, it could have been a phone call.
Right.
So he's like, yeah. I'm like, Daddy, I only see half your face. And
see that little picture that's there? That you got to get in that little picture.
And so then what's funny is that my mother fusses at him. It's like, you need to be doing X and you need to move over here. And then she fools around and does the exact same thing. Like, okay, it's your iPad, crazy lady. So it's pretty funny to listen to them bicker about how to best use FaceTime. But Daddy has gotten better, I'm happy to report. I went on a field trip to the patio and I FaceTimed them from the laptop versus my phone, and they were confused. They were like, it's a tree behind you. What's going on?
I can go outside.
I'm like, I'm just outside. And I took a walk, around the neighborhood because no one was outside. So I took a walk around the neighborhood, and the people who were sitting on their porch, maybe about 3 or 4 people, they were so excited to see someone else. They're like, hey, how you doing? I'm like,
yeah, I've had a lot of people walking around our neighborhood who I've never seen before.
Right.
Which I find interesting because I've been here for 46 years now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, who are you? Where did you come from?
I'm sure that was the sentiment when I walked around because I'm normally driving in. I know how to get in and out of my town. I don't know the town. I know where the major stores are. So as I walked, I chuckled and the guy said, how you doing? I said, I'm lost. I'm not really sure where my block is. I'll find it. I wasn't worried. I'll find it. And sure enough, I was moments away from my block. I don't know. So today's field trip was to the studio. As it is colder outside, I did step out for a moment, and the wind was real disrespectful. Real disrespectful.
And today's weather is supposed to be ridiculous. So it's supposed to be sunny like it is right now.
Beautiful.
And then it's going to rain or snow and sleet or hail.
Boo for all of these things.
Welcome to the Chicagoland area.
This is why I have not put my snowblower up yet. I'm like, I just don't know what's gonna happen.
Right. Well, I mean, it's too warm for it to stick because it's still gonna stay in the 40s. But what? What is happening?
And so every April, I pull out the soundtrack from Under the Cherry Moon, the Parade album by Prince. Sometimes it snows in April. That's my jam.
Okay.
Because sometimes, y'all, it snows in April. It's a mess, but it
sometimes
snows.
It snows in May.
Right. Welcome to the Midwest.
Here we are. Yay!
Yes. So I mentioned earlier that we are doing an incredible job of social distancing, but not really. If you are following us on Instagram, one of the hashtags for our selfies says social distancing, is this a misnomer? And I think it is. I think that we say it because we understand what it means, inherently, but I think we are not social distancing. We have become more social in the middle of this pandemic than normal. I think what we're doing is physical distancing, which is important. And please stay at home. Please stay at home. Please stay at home.
Yeah. If you can, stay home.
Yeah. If you have to go get food, like I bring things to my parents. Right. Otherwise, my mother will be in the Walmart all the time. Ma, go sit down. I'll get it. And she's like, well, you don't have to. And I'm like, but Ma, I'm the younger of the two of us. And I don't know if you remember or not, but you old. She don't think she old. And I mean, getting old is a blessing. I'm trying to get there. But please sit down.
Well, my mom is actually still working at Joann Fabrics. The store is actually closed, but you can order stuff online, and then they package it up and bring it out to you.
Okay.
In the parking lot. So she's still working.
Okay. It's been a blessing for those who can work, because I'm really concerned about the economics, the personal economics of people who are just in a position where that was just it. The job closed, it's shut down. The business owners, those of us who can work or, had a substantial savings or whatever that looks like, whatever your fortune is, man, because I couldn't imagine. It's frightening when there's not a pandemic, right? When you fall behind or something, or you don't have enough for X, or just if someone gets sick, when I'm rich, Dana, it is my intention to my main philanthropic endeavor will be to take care of the sick. I remember getting a hospital bill for something that I had. It was an emergency, and I got that darn bill, and I literally just broke out bawling, crying. And I had insurance.
Yeah,
bawling, crying.
When your insurance doesn't even cover half of what you had to have done in an emergency, that's the reason that you have insurance, is for an emergency.
Bawling, crying.
Come on.
I couldn't believe what I was looking at. It was almost $8,000. One thing that people don't know, and I encourage them to do, is flip that bill over. On the back of it, the bill will ask you to fill out information if you need assistance paying this bill. Please fill it out. Please. Now, they're going to ask you for all your information, the name of your firstborn, all that fun stuff. But fill it out. The worst they can tell you is no. My aunt always taught us that if you don't ask, then well,
you ain't getting it.
Exactly. So
that makes sense.
So I really feel for people who are trying to figure out how they're going to get to the next day, the next moment.
Yeah,
it's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah.
And this first stimulus is not supposed to come out until the end of the month? Something like that?
I don't know.
If you're lucky.
Yeah, if you're lucky. I'm not sure. But
I think mine's coming in mail, and I think that's not until September.
Oh. Boo.
Yeah. Well, but I'm still employed, so I'm still getting money because I work for, the school, and there's a union, and we're all good.
Yeah. Thank God for that. Yeah, because here in Illinois,
thank God for that.
The governor mentioned.
If I was working
go ahead.
We were still working where we were working, we wouldn't have anything.
Yeah, that's frightening. Yeah. You know, you think about
so it was
people
a
you work with.
blessing that I'm not there.
Listen, because
no, thank you.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
The Governor Pritzker said when he first announced the closure of the schools, he said schools will not lose any state funding, and that let me know that we would still be paid. Because when he said we're going to close, I was like, Governor, what does that mean?
Yeah, but it's in your contract, or it should be, that, you know, act of God, which this is, you'd still get covered if they were closed.
Yeah.
At least that's what our contract says.
Yeah. And, you know, speaking of that, it's funny how people's events have been shifted. So what's today? The 9th. In 9 days, I was supposed to be celebrating my parents' 70th and 80th birthdays. And we obviously had to cancel. And they called me. They were very gracious. The American Legion 950 in Calumet City. Very gracious. And they called me and they said, look, we're still going to be closed. How do you want us to proceed? Do you want us to issue you a refund? And I was like, no, I've been waiting on you to call me because I knew they weren't in. I said, we're going to bounce it to their anniversary party, which is in October. So we figure,
that'll be good.
Yeah, we figure everything will be good by then. But I've been hearing stories, Dana, of people just not wanting to work with. And don't get me wrong, I get it. Like, so I saw a post. Now, I don't know how accurate it was or if the story was real, if it was made up, but there was a young lady who had a nail appointment for her prom, and obviously the prom had been canceled. And so she reached out on social media to the person with whom she had booked, and that person said, I'm sorry, there are no refunds. And so the young lady said, well, okay, well, can you apply it to something else? And she said, no, as stated, there are no refunds, there are no trade-offs. And she was like, but can you work with me like this is a different situation than normal?
Right.
And the person
responded, it's not like I just decided not to go.
Exactly. And she said, please do not contact me again unless you are scheduled to book another service. I said, oh, that's how we get out.
I wouldn't book another service.
You would, but here's what she failed to remember. And I need these business owners to understand. Don't get me wrong. Don't let a client take advantage of you, but don't be disrespectful to the client either. She screenshot that and it went everywhere. According to the posts that I'd seen, she had to shut down her pages because people were coming for it. Like, how could you do a child like this? I wouldn't care if it was a teenager. Like, you see what's happening. Don't burn your bridge. You may need this money right now, but now you have damaged your whole thing. Over what, a $30, $40 service? Yeah, okay. Even if it was $100 service, you just messed up your whole business.
Now you're not getting anybody because nobody wants to give money to somebody who would do that to another human being when it's not their fault.
Right. Absolutely. So, you know.
And you know what? Usually they have 24-hour cancellations. Like, because I worked at salons for many years. And, you know, if you call within, if it's a group of people, it's like 48 hours. But if it's just a single appointment, 24 hours, you don't have to, you know, pay for it because you're not getting it and there's time enough to get somebody else in the chair is what, you know, is the theory behind that. But obviously this is way more than 24 hours because prom isn't until May and hello.
She was just disrespectful.
Why are you being such a jerk?
Well, karma's real, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
And people are going to learn that. They are either going to learn because they can get the lesson. I'm the kind of person who you can talk to me and I'll get the lesson. I don't have to experience it. You don't have to tell me. I don't have to go stand in the rain for me to understand that it's raining. You can tell me and I can look out the window and go, yeah, I want none of that.
Yeah.
I'm good. I just got my hair done. Whatever. So, sure. Yeah, that's wholly unfortunate. My vendors for my party, you know, I let them know. I said, we're looking at this date, but I got to wait on the venue to confirm. And they gave me their availability, and I had the date ready for the 31st of October before the venue called. So when they did call, I said, check your calendar. Can we do the 31st at the same time? And she said, absolutely. I said, put us down. Don't send me any money back. We're good.
That's awesome.
And they were like, thanks.
because knowing you've already worked with these vendors before because you're kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you find somebody and you keep them.
Mike Love in the house.
There you go.
Absolutely.
So, that's loyalty, and that's what you want in a consumer, is to be loyal to you. So you need to be loyal to them as well.
Mm-hmm. Work with people. Work with people and understand that life happens. Like if you're not empathetic, then people will not be karma empathetic to you when a need for you arises. And I think that's where people fail to understand, rather, that all right, you can be funny acting all you like, but remember that.
Right.
Remember that when
and
it'll come from a whole different direction. It won't be the person that you wronged who'll come back and get you. It'll be something else that you completely didn't expect. And I don't want no parts of that. Remember I talked about the rain example? I don't have to know from experience. I'm good. I am good.
There are some things that I need to be hit over the head with, but basic decency to humans is not one of them.
I was going to say, you're pretty good with that.
Yeah. Other things, more of like my internal things, like, you should be able to do this, but you're talking yourself out of it. That's me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some of us go through that.
I'm not generally out to get anyone because I don't really care that much. I don't have that kind of time in my life.
Right. We say, my cousin and I was like, we do not retaliate. First of all, God is better at it. And two, I don't have to repent if I don't do nothing. So
this is very true.
I'm just gonna walk off. Good luck though. Listen, everybody who has wronged me, particularly in a work setting, has lived to regret it. And it's like, I don't,
fired.
Listen, in a variety of settings, and that's happened to me quite a few times, and I don't wish any ill will. It's just like, ouch. I bet you didn't see that coming though. You know what I mean? Like, or it'll just, something will fail that they didn't expect. Yeah, I'll tell you a separate story offline.
I just heard the duck.
But yeah, you can't cross people and it just ride. It's not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes. So yeah, it's been good. How have you been keeping yourself busy?
Well, I cleaned my room once. I made a meditation space.
Very nice. My mother just did that and created a prayer room for herself.
Yeah, it's just it's actually what I'm sitting on presently.
Okay.
And it's up against my closet door.
That's okay though.
It's nothing major.
Doesn't matter.
It's there.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
And I'm going to start doing planting pretty soon. I'm going to start doing little seedlings.
Very nice.
And so I can have a garden.
What are you going to grow?
So we'll have food. A whole bunch of mess.
Okay.
We always have tomatoes. We always have tomatillos come back every year, just randomly. Asparagus comes back every year.
Does it? It's good to know.
Yeah, but it takes 3 years for you to actually get a decent amount.
Got it.
So this is our third year, so hopefully we'll have lots and lots of asparagus. It'll be special.
If you run out of room for asparagus, I like asparagus. Continue.
I will bring some over if we actually grow a lot.
Yay.
Cantaloupe, watermelon, cucumbers, like herbs. We always do a lot of herbs.
Great.
I don't know. It depends on what my mom brings home from Home Depot. It's pretty much where we're at.
Understood. My mother has prepped me for my first attempt at growing food. She does hers in large planters.
Okay.
And so we got a couple, and I think I'm going to do tomatoes and cucumbers this year. You said watermelon though, and now I'm like, ooh, I want to do.
And you can do the littler watermelon. You don't have to do the gigantic ones, like the little
ones,
dark ones.
Yeah, I'm okay with.
Yeah.
So
I think they're seedless. I don't know. I don't know how you can plant seeds for a seedless watermelon. I don't know how that works.
I've seen those Facebook videos where they kind of do the rind, but I'm going to check it out because, it's not like I'm going anywhere. So I'm prepping for that. I got to get some more pot and soil. But knowing my mother, she has some in the garage, so I might just rob her. Did I say that out loud? I did. And I've been just kind of, between real estate training and education training and teaching and just cleaning this house. I cleaned my flower beds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was outside killing it. I'm, cleaning the house. I was washing doors and just stuff that I don't get a chance to do. So there's really no excuse at this point. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have to mow the lawn in a few days if it stops raining.
Mm-hmm. My lawn company came by today and scared me thoroughly because I didn't expect them. And I was like, what is happening? Oh, that's me. Okay, got it. 'Tis me.
Because they usually come when you're not home.
Yeah, that, and I just didn't realize they were coming today. And I knew they come on Thursdays, but we hadn't started yet. But I was like, it's April. Yeah, that makes sense.
And your grass is long.
Yeah, it was long. It was long. So.
It's uneven.
Yeah. So now it looks great, which is, I like to leave and come home, pull up some of my fabulous grass, but I'm just going to go outside and look at it because I'm not going anywhere. Like, thanks, grass. Nice seeing you. The birds were not thrilled that I came out on the patio the other day because they've been out there undisturbed. They were having their smorgasbord worms, surrounding grass, and they were literally like looking at me when I came out like, who is this? I'm like, dude, this is my house. They were so gorgeous. Yeah. Like, get out of here. So yeah,
there's at one of the schools that I was working at, because I worked between Rich Central and Rich East. At Central, there's actually there was a nest because they have tons of geese. There was a nest kind of by the door where we came out, and then geese were like losing their minds. I'm like, we're not going to catch them. They're gone.
They were like, what is happening?
It was crazy. I'm like, they're fine, Mama. It's okay. Right. We're not even going over there.
She's like, get out of here. Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. So nature's taking it back.
Yeah. And I'm okay with that. I love to look outside and see, I didn't appreciate them waking me up at 4 a.m. I was like, hey, hush. And
I need to get up this early.
Like, I'm up, but I wasn't ready to get up. And I was like, hey, be quiet.
Right.
Because I can go back to sleep depending on how tired I am. I'm like, seriously? Seriously, Bird?
Yeah.
You sound beautiful, but...
Shut it.
Yeah. And do so expeditiously. I'm tired. I think that's a good place to end. We're all reclaiming our time. Us, the birds, the ducks. What else did you have over there? The goats.
The goats, the ducks, the baby, the donkey, horses.
Yeah.
But we don't really hear the horses. They don't really make a lot of noise.
Right. Yeah.
But donkeys, they make noise.
I could see that. I could absolutely see that. Well, I miss you. I hate that you're not here, but we're just physically distant, not socially distant.
Exactly.
Yep. So we definitely will be back. Hopefully, this order will be lifted at the end of the month, but we don't want anyone to do that before it's time. Like, we want that for convenience, but we'll be all right.
Yeah, we can do this. I think we figured it out.
We're pretty smart. We are pretty smart. From the
I'm
studio.
the smart part.
Right, absolutely. Well, you know, we are. From the studios of TLC Talk Radio.
And Dana's bedroom.
This has been GT on Our Minds. I'm your girl, Tasha.
And I'm that girl, Dana.
Don't forget to follow us on all of our social media pages, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Catch us every day, multiple times a day on TLCTalkRadio.com. We will catch you next week.